Hello everyone, back again, and I'm heading to another job site to work on a Keurig coffee brewer. And on this job I'm going to be replacing a water tank. The company Keurig, they did send me a water tank last week to do this job, but the water tank had a defect, so I didn't complete the call. And now they did send me the new tank, so I'm going to go out here and see if this tank is better, in better condition, and then I'll replace it, and it should be a interesting repair, so we'll see. Okay, so now we're here. I have the unit disassembled already. I was just showing you that I'm going to start by removing that vent tube. That vent tube is in the front there that I just showed you, and I'm going to pull that apart, and I disconnected most of the lines already to the water tank. And right now I'm removing one of the side tubes. And that's the side tube that I'm removing now. That's the tube that the water comes out of the tank when it's dispensing. Right now, these are the two screws that have to be removed in order to remove the old tank. So basically, I've already removed all of the hoses that are connected to this tank. And now I'm going to remove the tank from the housing. And then I'll let you take a look at the tank when it comes out. There you can see the solenoid valves on the side there. Just to give you a look, and now I'll get set up to get this tank ready, so that, because we're going to have to send this back to the manufacturer. And so here I'm showing you the solenoid valves. These two solenoid valves, they feed these lines, and they actually feed from the tank. So the inlet valve sends water into the tank, and then those two solenoid valves send water into the two water boilers that are on the side. So these lines that you just seen, those are feeding these two heater tanks, one on top, one on the bottom. Preparing the new tank to go in, so I'm getting that set up to install it. The reason I'm setting this up like this is because I'm gonna use the existing tubing that is already in place. It makes it a little easier, mainly due to the fact that the issue is not really with any of the tubing. All of the tubing is in good condition. So I'm gonna use that same tubing. And that's mainly the tubing that you see straight ahead on the two solenoid valves and the long 1/4 inch line that's coming from the inlet valve. That tube those tubes are still good. So I'm just removing the clamps and the tubes that I'm not gonna be replacing. And this is the new tank going in place. Same setup. First, you're going to go in with your vent tube through that hole on the top right side. And then you just want to get it set up so you could slide it right in. It's not quite sometimes it doesn't quite line up. There may be something that's blocking it, but you just got to line up your two screws that are in the back with the screw holes, and then you know you have it lined up good so you can get your tubing reconnected. And there you go. Now it's slid right in place. Now I can start reconnecting the tubing going to the water tank. I'm going to screw down those two screws that I showed you earlier. That's going to secure the tank. And I'm going to go ahead and insert the inlet line into the John Guest fitting. Now I'm going to insert and secure my hot water tank to the tube. That's the hot water for the top tank. So water is going to feed out of that water tank that I'm installing, and it's going to feed into that upper tank. It actually feeds the upper and the lower tank. If you look, there's a tube going from there's a stainless steel tube going from the top tank to the bottom tank. So both of those tanks will fill up. And then at that point, once they hit their limit, they'll start to boil or heat up the water to about 205 degrees, 208 degrees. Now I'm installing the inlet line. This line right here is also going over to feed into the T. There's a T fitting down below. that also feeds over into the bottom heater tank. Now I'm going to attach the power cord. That just clicks right in, right there. That's going to the board that's connected to the water tank. Those are the two solenoid valves. Those are connected. That one there had a little crimp in it, so I was just straightening it out. But it should be fine. And now I'm gonna connect that side tube that we took off earlier. I'm gonna connect that one up. And as you can see, the vent tube is I'm gonna connect that now. Just put your clamp on and push it right onto the terminal there. It's a small little coupling that it fits onto. And then I usually use a pair of small needle nose to get those clamps on securely. And then I just fold it up and put it into place. And that panel that's leaning over, that panel's gonna go over that tubing and everything. Now I'm starting to reassemble the unit, putting back on the top section first. Now I'm just securing the top section. Uh, there's a good amount of screws to take out of this, but right now I'm securing that top section. It takes 3 screws on the side, on each side. Two screws on the left side and 3 screws on the right side. And then there's 2 screws that are underneath the front of that platform. You'll see that once I get around to the front. You should be able to see that platform I'm talking about. If you ever work on one of these, sometimes these will blow a fuse. And if you look on your bottom right where where you see the power switch on the bottom right, just above it, there's a spot for a 20 amp fuse, and it's in that fuse holder. But just to let you know, if you ever work on one of these and it happens to blow the fuse, there might be a short. So first always look for any loose wires or anything, or any burnt wires. And if you don't find anything and you want to replace that fuse, they always have a replacement fuse just above where you see that fuse holder. Just above that, to your going to your right, it's right on that rear housing, the rear side housing of the unit, and it has a spare fuse right in there on your right. It has like a white covering around the fuse. You should be able to see that, and you can always just use that fuse as your replacement if you happen to find a short and you fix the short. Then you can go ahead and replace that fuse with that one. Now I'm going to get the two front screws put in, and then we should be just about ready to start reassembling the unit. This unit I moved out into the cafe area of this lunchroom, just so I could have enough room to work, because it was on a counter that was right underneath their microwave, and it was around lunchtime when I was working on this unit, so there were a lot of people still coming to heat up their lunch and stuff. So I just moved this machine to one of the tables so that I could be able to have enough room to work on it. I'm just getting those front screws in right now. Almost there. Right now I'm just cleaning up all of those little pieces that I had to take off, those those tubes that I wasn't going to use. Just cleaning all that stuff up, but we're just about there. Okay, so now I'm starting with the reassembly of the unit. I'm starting by putting on the rear panel. As you can see on the left, this has an inline filter installed. That rear panel comes off a hole. There's only 4 screws that hold that rear panel on. And as you can see, that inline filter attaches to that rear panel. So I'm just getting that back on right now. You might notice those 2 tubes that are hanging from the bottom right. Those tubes there, one is for to drain the main water tank, and the other one is a drain tube for the 2 heater tanks on the left-hand side. So you have 2 drain lines back there, and those will go back in place in a few minutes. Right now I'm installing the filter line, the inlet line from the filter. It's actually the outlet line going to the inlet, coming off of the outlet side of the water filter to the inlet of the machine. And now I'm putting on the right side panel. It has a groove on the bottom that you have to fit in there, and then it should slide forward, and then you can secure it with the 3 screws on the back. That one didn't seem like it really fit in there right, but it feels like it's in there. I'm gonna go back to that afterwards, but I'm gonna put on the left side panel now. You can see the grooves, the slots that it fits into that bottom section, then it slides right in. Then you can secure the 3 screws. I'm gonna pull that back a little bit to line those slots up again. They didn't seem like they were in there too good, so I wanted to make sure that it's secure. And then secure it with the 3 screws. On this machine, you see that John Guest fitting, that John Guest T fitting that's coming off of the outlet side of the filter. That T fitting was put in there for the water for the ice machine on their refrigerator. So they have another line that goes into that T fitting there. So that's doesn't really have anything to do with the coffee brewer itself. It's just sharing filtered water with the ice maker for the refrigerator that's next to it. I'm just getting some tools cleaned up and stuff like that because now we're just about ready to bring this back over to the counter that it was on and put it back in place, and then we'll plug it in and see what it does from there. Okay, here I have my Keurig set up. It's priming right now, filling the tank with water. And once it's done priming, now I'm brewing a cup of coffee, and that's a 8 ounce cup of coffee that's brewing right now. I usually do a couple of test brews just to make sure that there's no other issues. And this one is looking good so far. Just finished up. And with these Keurigs, you can see this is ready to go. And with these systems, just to let you know, when the people when their cup is done brewing, when the next person goes to make a cup of coffee and they lift up that lid to put their K cup in, it will drop the old lid inside the basket in the bottom, and then the next person can make their cup of coffee. So that's all we have for now. I thank you guys for watching. I hope this was helpful, and we'll see you on the next job. Take care and stay blessed.